Okay, I think we should get started.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
Welcome, everyone, to Smart Security, Exploring the Power of CORTROL, VMS, and AI Synergy. Our speaker today is William Godoy. He is our Field Applications Engineer, having spent 11 years in the role. He specializes in designing and implementing security systems for various enterprises and has a background in IT management. His education includes a master's in project management and a bachelor's in networking and communication management, complemented by certifications in aviation. A couple of housekeeping things I want to go over really quickly. Please keep yourself muted. During the presentation, we will have a question and answer period at the end. And please keep your camera off so we can preserve bandwidth. Okay. William?
Thank you, Nina. Appreciate that introduction. Hopefully everyone can hear me just fine. So today we're going to cover a little bit about, or we're going to demo our live CORTROL VMS platform today. So this is following our conversation from our previous webinars. If you missed, it's okay. We have that pre-recorded for you if you want to follow up with that conversation, which is the AI and VMS synergy, right? So how do we use artificial intelligence with our VMS platform, which is CORTROL, which is what you'll learn today. So I'll do some demos today with some of the analytics. I'll try to keep it as simple as we can. We'll dive too deep into the technology, but we'll identify a couple of different things, is how we can become more efficient at looking at cameras and how to respond to these alerts in an efficient manner, right? And while reducing false positives. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run through some various modules and integrations and how we can focus on what's important on your cameras.
So what we're going to start by today, we're going to start by showing you our VMS platform, CORTROL, and I'm going to show you our facial recognition software. So, and I'm going to start with this because this encompasses a lot of our different analytic engines, which we like to call CVA, which is our CORTROL Video Analytics. And what we can do with that today. So starting right off the bat, you'll notice right here our main display. We have a lot of analytics happening here, but let's just focus on this guy for now. So this is a pre-recorded video. I'll get that elephant out of the room there, or in the room out of the way. So this is a pre-recorded video, but all of the analytics that you're seeing happening here or in this little window pane here within that video, those detections are happening live. So although this is a pre-recorded video, we use this for demo just to showcase the power of the analytics that's happening. And obviously this works in real time just the same, but it's easier to show this in a demo scenario because we have constant images and faces coming through. So I have listed some individuals here that you are obviously is a repeat video. So I have listed some individuals here as a green list and red list individuals. And you'll see here on my panel on the right side where we have these individuals popping up on our screen. So what's happening here is our CVA engine is complemented by an NVIDIA graphics card processor. And this is allowing us to process all of this information in real time and give us alerts. So if we wanted to do, for example, timekeeping, or access control, or just monitoring who's coming in and out of a facility. This is what we use a facial recognition for. And it's a very good tool. As you can see, it even detects people with face masks on. Obviously, that's a thing of 4 or 5 years ago now, but still, you know, definitely a lot of people still use face masks. So we want to be able to detect individuals even with face masks on. It does become a little bit more challenging, but the software has an ability to triangulate based on, you know, eyebrows, nose, and eyes. So here are my two individuals coming up, and they should be listed here on our lists. So they're going to pop up on two lists. So they are green listed. So this is Jack, and then we have Sally, who's right next to him, who's going to be detected. There we go. So there's Jack and Sally. And you can see here for any operator that's looking at these individual cameras or that need to be monitoring these cameras, they can see these new alarms or alerts pop up as they're viewing these cameras. Now, what's nice about this is, they don't necessarily have to be watching these cameras to see these alerts. We can have them display, for example, we'll just take a look at this camera here. Oops. Give me 1 second. And we'll jump into this in a little bit, but this is our license plate recognition camera. So let's just assume, they were watching this individual camera or not even that camera at all. What can happen here is as these different alerts are coming through, so we see here, there's another person that's being detected here. So there's Mark, who's actually a part of our red list. So Mark from our red list, if we wanted to identify that individual, I'll click on this alert that's happening here, and then we'll get a nifty little snapshot. Eventually should pop up here. Maybe not. There we go. So let's go back to Mark. Let's make sure we got that. Well, if not here, let's focus on Sally. We know we have a snapshot from Sally. So in this snapshot, it'll tell us, there's an alarm for a wanted person. Her name is Sally, and she is from the green list. So although she's in the green list, maybe she's a person that we know that's supposed to be in this particular area. So what we can do is change the severity level. So right now it's set as critical, but we can just change her down to low. And it'll change our ticket item here. And we can say this is Sally from HR. Okay, we'll add a comment. So in that way, it gives an operator not just the ability to change or acknowledge these alerts, but now it creates a little bit of an audit log for those to make sure that your operators are doing just that, right? Checking out who these people are that are coming in. Maybe they're not on site or at that door where they're coming through or in that particular area, but they can see it through the client software, just kind of you're seeing now. So as this is happening, we can also check this. So as I was mentioning, I popped up this PTZ LPR camera back here, and the only reason why I popped this up is just to show you that we can still manage all of these different tickets that are happening on the right side. So we have two little options here within the ticket item here. So what we can do is go directly into the live video. So we'll pop that up, and that'll call up that camera. And now we can see what's happening. And though this is a pre-recorded video, it may take a little bit to load there. So you'll see here in the background, and eventually it should start loading. And this process is a lot faster when we have a lot of cameras. Unfortunately, this is a pre-recorded video, so it does some additional decoding before it actually pops up. So there's our camera. Let's assume it was live. And then we can see where Jack and Sally are coming up on that display again. If we wanted to see that exact time when Jack and Sally were coming up or when Sally was detected, we can click on the other button next to it. And this is the instant playback. So within that main display there, now you'll see my instant playback that's happening here. And this is still under the same tag. So here's my instant playback. There's that video. And you can see here, even when the moment that she was captured, although it's a little bit behind, we can capture and see all of the different bookmarks that I have been creating, or tickets that I've been creating based on these analytics. So here's the bookmark right where Jack was being detected, and he's listed as a green person, although we have him pop up on our red list. And there's Sally when she's being detected as well, though she was looking down. It took us a couple seconds, but we managed to capture her as well. So there we go. So what's neat about this is now anyone who's watching these cameras can also go back to these pre or recorded images or videos, I should say, from these tags and go and revisit anything. So if somebody missed something, we can go into these tags. I'll just double click a tag there. You'll be able to see what was happening, right? So now we'll say there was somebody here in the red list. Who was it? And there was our guy Mark, right? Our Mark from our red list who was there. And then we can say, it was critical. We type in a comment, close that out, whatever the case is. And this brings us to what I like to call a little bit more of an active viewer response system. So how do we utilize these analytics today? And exactly just like that, right? What we want to do is, not have to stare at these screens all day long. Obviously, it's important that we take a look at these displays, but there's so many things that we can trigger from these particular analytics. And I will show you an example here that we can do as well. So when somebody comes up that's known, you'll see that we can also create a notification alert. So it forces whoever's looking at these cameras to look and pay attention to the display and acknowledge a display to find out what's happening. And this is just going to be a quick test notification that's happening here, but you'll get the idea. There we go. So there's our notification popping up. And it says people walking red list, and then the ID was 594, but we can tailor that to whatever we want. And then we can create that coming up. So now you notice I can't really pretty much click anywhere, but they'll have to click away to identify to see where that was happening. And in that tag, we can say, hey, it happened on this camera, it was this person, it was this time. Those are the different ticket items that we can add into that same notification panel. So what's neat about that is, although that was just a quick little notification display, we can also trigger the client machine to, emit a sound or a siren, right? So, and these are just automated things that we can do. So, if you wanted to get their attention, maybe just, loud sound from the computer, whatever you need it to do. Going into that, I mentioned earlier, we can use this for access control as well. We do we have some great integration partners like Carey and Gallagher and Phoenix access control systems that we can utilize, for access for all these different individuals. So whenever Jack and Sally show up to the facility, we can open the doors for them to those particular areas where they're allowed to go or disallow, right? So maybe they're not allowed to go in there. We can completely shut them off, or if they're like a severe red listed person for some reason, they've been known to do certain things, we can lock down the facility and then set off sirens, set off emails, snapshots. I mean, you name it. We can do that directly from the software without having to lift a finger, so to speak. The moment the software detects it, it'll do that by itself. We'll just set these things up in what we call our events and actions panel within CORTROL on the console side of that. So that's one way we can utilize the analytics today and the intelligence, right, to harness the power of the analytics and help us with our everyday tasks. And here's our notification again. Obviously, Mark is being detected there in the background, and you'll see him pop up here. There he is on the right side. There you go. And there's a second alert. Now he's been detected a second time. And that brings me to another point. So as I was mentioning, these different individuals, these databases we create in our CVA analytics. So we start to create a database based on, whether they're allowed or not allowed. One of the things that we've done before in the past with some end users is that, we've taken images from, maybe there's somebody took a picture of somebody who's not supposed to be in the area. They were loitering or whatever the case is. So if they have a pretty decent picture, we can upload that picture as well into the database and then set it up as a warning alert or, whatever it may be. In this particular case, what we did is uploaded the individual into the database. And this particular end user has IP bullhorns that display automated messages. So whenever that individual or the individuals in that disallowed list triggered the events, they would hear a different audible message than the rest of the individuals, right? It'll just immediately go to a severe level. It says, you're trespassing on these premises, the police will be called if you do not leave, or, and we can increase the severity with that, as I was mentioning. So these are the different things that we can do with that. Now, I did mention, I'll hop over while we're speaking about that. I'll hop over to our license plate recognition. And the license plate recognition is encompasses everything we see from the facial recognition, but we're adding the component of reading, obviously, the license plates, right? So it's similar engine. As soon as this thing will let me here, there we go. So we'll hop over to this one. So you'll see here on my license plate. So The neat thing about this and any of the analytics that you're seeing here today is these cameras are not specialized for these different tasks. So these are software-driven engines that are being, as I mentioned before, they're being driven by a graphics processing unit on the server, and the software is handling all of these different analytics. So here we go, in a vehicle driving out, perfect. And then the analytics will analyze those different frames and analyze where that license plate is. It'll tell us what country of origin that license plate is from, and it's reading that license plate as well and putting it there on display. What's neat about the license plate recognition portion is that it gives us the option to tag those license plates. So if we had a tag already listed, I don't on this, but if we have a tag that's listed, right, we can put it on the off the list, we can put it on the list. So if you have a swinging armed door or gate that needs to open whenever, you know, employees come in or whatever the case may be, you can do that in an automated fashion based on the tags that you've created for those particular license plates. And again, you can do this directly from our software. You can also do it from the database side of things. And then you can manage all of this through our events and actions panel within the console. And again, you know, we're still talking about all this fun jazz, and we have the notifications popping up still here, which is good. Let me just disable that for the sake of display here. But this is exactly what you would see. You know, there's a whole bunch of things happening. Obviously, this is a little too busy for anyone's eyes, I think, but you get the idea. There's a whole bunch of analytics that are happening here on the other side. But these are the things that we can do today with the analytics, right? Triggering events that matter the most. And this is reducing false alarms as well. I know we're jumping into license plate recognition and facial recognition here, but you know, we offer a lot of other analytics as well, like the object detection. The object detection encompasses, you know, detecting of animals like dog, cat, person, vehicles. You know, you have bus, or I think truck, car. I mean, there's horse, bicycle. I mean, you name it. So there's a whole slew of analytics that's on there. We can create detection zones of what we want to identify, or if anyone's intruding in those particular zones, we can also set up analytics and alerts for that. You'll also be able to see here kind of what I've been trying to focus on here. Here's a thermal image here. And this is the object detection that we're able to do with our software. And again, these analytics don't live on the edge itself; they live on a server. So circling back to you know, these analytics don't live on the camera. So you can use any camera that you have, which is the beautiful part about the analytics today, is you don't have to have a specialized camera anymore. All of these analytics can be added after the fact. You know, just for the sake of LPR, you can do this during the day. Obviously, for nighttime, it may be a little bit more difficult, so a specialized IR LPR camera will be needed, but you can capture at the very least the license plates during the day. And for the facial detection and all object detection, you don't need a special camera to do that. We also offer analytics in the smart park feature, so it tells you how many parking spaces are available. We also offer gun detection, smoke detection and fire detection, and personal protective equipment, or PPE, which is a huge thing nowadays for a lot of customers out there, or end users who require the PPE for their staff, so they can detect whether or not individuals are wearing their PPE. So there's a whole bunch of analytics, and again, we encourage you to reach out to us, and hopefully we can set up a more tailored a demo for you, just because all of these analytics, you know, can work differently for different scenarios, and we'll be more than happy to walk through any different analytic with you that you're you know, have any particular interest in, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through it. So I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you for listening to us and capturing a little bit of what we do and how we utilize that for your everyday use. Nina?
I do have a few questions that were sent in ahead of time. Okay, one of the first questions that were sent in with the registrations is, how do you create an LPR database and make a trigger to open a boom gate?
Perfect. So as I mentioned before, in the background, we do have a database that we can create. So if you have already a list of, for example, employees or visitors that are allowed or have or are not allowed for that matter, we can build that database in the background, and then we can tell our software, CORTROL, to say, okay, well, when these allowed individuals show up, let's just open that boom gate. Now that boom gate must be triggered by either an access control unit that's either integrated into our software, or it can be sent as an alarm output from a camera directly. So that can be a digital output, or alarm contact that can trigger that gate to open as well. So it'll just use your normally closed or normally opened triggers.
Anyone else? Questions? I have another. Edge or AI, server-based AI? Which one is to be deployed? What are the pros and cons of each?
Edge or server-based AI? That is a great question. I am not shy about activating both. And the reason for that is you have to have some level of contingency, right? So right now, what we were showing you is a server-based analytics. So that's doing or it's analyzing the video and overlaying the analytics and identifying people, license plate, object detection, doing it in the background. Now, I'm not saying this thing is perfect, but there may be a time when there's a power failure or it does fail, right? And then that will go down. So when that goes down, you don't have any analytics. So the contingency is to activate the analytics on the edge, right, or at the camera itself. So I am not shy about putting them on both, and maybe utilizing them to in conjunction to reduce false alarms. Yeah, so that is a very good question. I don't shy away from both. Use anything and everything that you have at your disposal. That's my take.
I do have two more questions that were sent in ahead of time, which I think you touched on already. What other analytics are available for this software?
Gotcha. Yes. So I did touch on those a little bit. So on top of the facial recognition, license plate recognition, we do have gun detection. We do have Smart Park. Smart Park just analyzing all the parking spaces, tell you how many are available. Smart Track, I believe it's, or Follow. So we can track one individual going from camera to camera. The object detection, which I believe I mentioned as well, which is people, animals, cars, trucks, you name it, a bicycle, horse, I think is what we have integrated into that. So we have a full suite of different analytics that we have to offer, including our what's become more popular is PPE or helmet detection as well, making sure employees are wearing their PPE or the personal protective equipment, and that's become vital for a lot of businesses. So and a huge liability, right? So that's become very important as of late.
Okay, and final question. Will this software work with any IP camera?
Yes, that is another great question. This software will work with any camera, any IP camera. Everyone, well, for the most part, the majority now operate with the ONVIF protocol. So any ONVIF generic drivers we can work with. If for whatever reason those cameras do not have an ONVIF generic driver, we can use their RTSP syntax, and we can pull that in that way, and we can still overlay analytics on that. So that's not a problem. We can definitely find a way to play nicely with every different manufacturer that's out there, and we like to, right? We're very open to anyone's platform and anyone's camera, because obviously working together makes things work a lot more smoothly there. And I see a question here in the chat from Pavel. This says, do you have an abandoned object detection as well? Yes, we do. We have an abandoned object analytic that is integrated directly into our software as well. Our CVA abandoned object analytic, and that can be like a briefcase left behind, or a box, for example. I think even a paper. If it can detect it, it'll check it for you. And what we do is create a zone around a particular area. So if it's like in an office space floor plan or whatever the case is, we can draw a zone around it and create a threshold for an object that's left behind. So if it's been sitting there for longer than 30 seconds or a minute for that matter, then it'll start to alarm and it'll detect and report that. Yeah, definitely, we do have that available.
Anyone else?
Hi, William, Nina, this is Joe Rico up in Seattle. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Hey, listen, one thing that I run into up here when I'm speaking with some integrators is we have an established software that's already been at the customer side or the enterprise side. And I think I heard you say that basically some of these newer features that we have, these analytics, will sort of play with other platforms. And I'm just wondering what is the simplest path, or what makes the most sense for, say, for instance, an integrator who takes over a project, or a customer who wants something that their system at this time, which might be 10 years old, just isn't providing. Is there kind of a path for us to be able to introduce some of these newer, slicker features and then sort of transition them over to a full CORTROL solution?
We do. I think the first step into that, if you don't want to jump into our VMS platform right off the bat, you can utilize our AI box. Our AI box is a great platform that integrates with multiple camera manufacturers.
Okay.
And that little box there is relatively inexpensive, or I should say competitive in cost.
Okay.
And that can lead you into the introduction of analytics, right? And how you can use analytics going forward. And if those work, the AI box is fully integrated into our CORTROL software. So that step from there to CORTROL will assist you in creating those alerts and functions going forward. So it's not like you're going to abandon that AI box when you move to CORTROL either, because we have that fully integrated into our software. So you can still do all the fun analytics and reporting that you see here.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like a reasonable first step that is not a sticker shock to the customer or the integrator, but it gives them that window to say, hey, this is where the future's going, and if you don't have these features and you like these features, it's not that big of a deal to take that on as an investment. And then once they start to learn it, I think then they start to think about, well, how do I do other applications, and start with CORTROL instead of some of the other softwares that they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Exactly. And if your customer, Joe, if they're looking for a demo of our platform as well, we do offer 30-day demo licenses.
Right. Okay.
So if they're looking to even take this for a test drive, again, this might be a little bit of a huge calculator, so to speak, if they're jumping from a basic platform. But we offer definitely a 30-day trial license. So if they want to give that a go, by all means, reach out to us and we can get that going for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I see in the chat box, Larry, tiene material de marketing en español. I believe we're working on some marketing material for Spanish soon. So we should have that ready to go. I'll get in touch here with Nina and we'll reach out to you directly, Larry. Thank you for that question. Let's see, Chris in the chat. The analytics you have shown today, was it purely generated on the edge CORTROL device, or did it come from AI box into CORTROL, or some of it using hybrid analytic cloud model? Okay, so the ones that I was showing, the facial recognition and license plate recognition, live on a CORTROL server. So it's a Windows-based server. It does have a graphics processing unit in there. It's an NVIDIA RTX 3070, I think is what we're using on our server. We have some other analytics that are working on there, so it's not just for those. But yes, this is coming from the CORTROL native analytics. We do have the AI box analytics that I was showing there on that display as well. Some of them with the blue banners are from the AI box, showing like the parking lot with all the different cars, analyzing all the different objects. Those come from the AI box. And again, those work in conjunction, hand in hand together. And none of these are sitting in the cloud. These are all based on an actual local server. You can create kind of your own cloud server system with our platform. So if you have cameras that are remote and they need to go somewhere, or whether it's on a virtual machine, we can definitely do that as well. Thank you for that question, Chris. And again, as I was mentioning before, if you don't have any questions, please look at our information here. If you're looking at the screen that Nina is sharing, there's my email, my direct email contact there, as well as my direct office number. Please book a demo with us. I understand, some of these applications may not apply to everyone. So by all means, if there's something in particular that you're looking for, we're more than happy to tailor a demo for you. And give you that one-on-one time. We can schedule like an hour demo. It's up to you. Let me know. Send me an email, and we're more than happy to book that for you. If you need more information regarding our software platform as well, you can go to gantsecurity.com/CORTROL, and you can find our different modules that are on there, as well as the variety of CORTROL software platforms that we have to offer. So we have our Premier, our Global, and then the channel packages that we have to offer for that.
William, I also wanted to mention there were a couple of very specific questions that were country based, and we'll be answering those individually rather than to the whole group.
Okay. Fantastic.
And also,
that works for me.
And also, I also wanted to let everyone know that there will be a recording available. I'll be sending a follow-up thank you with a link to the recording if you missed any parts or if you want to share with anyone.
Perfect. Alejandro, I see your message in the chat. Thank you very much. Yes, our partnership with Carrie has been a very fruitful one, and hopefully our experience grows better with your feedback. So thank you very much for being here with us today. And I apologize for the technical difficulties we were having, and hopefully you were able to capture enough information in the time that we've allotted here for the webinar.
Don't worry. Thank you, William.
Thank you guys very much for your time. I appreciate everyone's time, and thank you for sticking around. So we'll have that link ready for you sooner than later, and Nina will reach out to everyone with that recording soon.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Nina.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Everyone have a great day.